In today's video, I'm not going to be teaching you how to cut a watermelon. What I want to do is talk to you about the fact that it's never too late to reinvent yourself. The fact is, we're not the same person as we get older. We change over and over again along the way. And I think it's important that you realise that, because we hang on to a version of ourselves that we think of as ourselves, and yet we change. And let me put this into a perspective for you. When I was a little boy, when I was 4, 5, I liked to play cowboys and Indians, and I thought of myself as a cowboy or an Indian. We lived in a world of make-believe as a child, and so that's what we was. As I got older, I got to, I don't know, 12, 13, and I was really interested in sport. I loved football, and I played football every spare moment that I had. We lived on the coast, and luckily from our house we were no more than perhaps 5 minutes away from the beach, and so it was always good to be able to go and play football when I wanted to. By the time I was 16 though, I was working in my dad's amusement arcade, either looking after the machines, sitting in the cash desk, or calling bingo numbers in the bingo. And I so wanted to be a radio presenter. Tony Blackburn was the top of the pops for me at the time. I used to listen to radio every day, and I so wanted to be part of that. And yet my dad said no, it wasn't the life for me. I shouldn't do that. I should do something else. The funny thing is, that dream never really ever went away. And by the time I was in my late 40s, I was ready to pursue it. And I did. And then I had spent 9 years of my life doing radio and loving every minute of it. As I got into my 20s, I started my own business. I had a fairground ride on fairgrounds. I got married, and we went down that route. And so I changed from what I wanted to be when I was a little boy, from what I wanted to be when I was a teen, into being an adult. And along the way, we keep doing these things. We become a different person, but we seem to get to an age when we think that perhaps we're too old to try something new. I know that when I stopped doing fairgrounds, we settled down the coast again, had another business, and unfortunately, due to situations I don't particularly want to talk about, I lost the business, I lost our home, lost all that sort of stuff. And so along the way, things have happened that have changed the person that I am. Here's the thing, has it not happened to you as well? As your life has gone on, have you not become someone who's different from the person you were when you started out? I know that when we got to the lockdown in 2020, I'd stopped doing the radio and I was looking for something else. I'd been hunting out a couple of businesses like you do, and I wasn't really getting anywhere. But when we were locked down during the COVID pandemic, or whatever it was called, I started watching YouTube and looked at it and thought to myself, gosh, that looks fun. And I saw people who were making these videos and doing things like that, and I really thought I'd like to do it, but I didn't think that I'd be able to. Because after all, I was pushing 60. I was a bit too old for it. All of the people that I was watching seemed to be young and in their like early 20s and doing things like that. And they were all... I got put off by the name influencers, I've got to be honest. There was this, they were calling people influencers, and I didn't like the idea of that. But as much as I put myself off of starting a YouTube channel, the idea lingered. It stayed with me. And I didn't think I was ever going to be able to do it, because I thought of someone of my age, I would have to change my personality in a way to do this, because I was never an outgoing type of person. And so it was going to be different for me if I wanted to do it. But then I got to thinking about when I was young and being told stories by my dad's uncle, and how I wished I'd recorded them, and how I thought his stories were great and that I should do something like that. And the idea came to tell stories to my sons, to give them a link to our past, if you like, to tell them about their family and the stories that I'd learned from family members when I was younger. Pass down the history, if you want. And I thought, well, I could do that. And so I started this YouTube channel. And the videos were awful, by the way. They're still up if you want to go and have a look. But I thought I'd check them out, do some videoing, and have a go and see how it went. And so I started my channel, actually, this week 2 years ago. And I started making these videos for my sons. I never expected there would be more than 2 people watching, to be honest. But slowly and steadily, people started checking into the channel, checking out what I was doing, and started subscribing. And the channel started to grow. And I had to become someone that I wasn't. I had to become more outgoing, and I had to learn new skills of talking to a camera, for instance. But think about you, not about me. Is there anything that you would like to do? Is there anything that you fancy doing? It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. It doesn't matter whether you think you're capable of. It's about, what do you want to do? Who would you like to be? Are there things in your life that you've not tried yet that you'd really like to? That's the questions you've got to ask yourself. And once you've asked yourself and you kind of know that that's something you want to do, then it's time for you to have a go. Have a go. Check out, do a bit of research, have a go, see if you can make some steps towards doing the things that you want to do in your life. If it means that at the moment you're working in a job, use your spare time, instead of sitting in front of the telly, think about the things that you want to do. Maybe you want to get fitter, and you may not have done anything like that before since you were a teenager. Well, then you need to reinvent yourself. Tell yourself that you like being fit, that you like going running, that you like going walking, that riding your bike is great, and that it helps you feel better about yourself. Decide that You deserve to do the things that you want to do. Decide that no matter how old you are, there is still time left to do the things that you want. After all, who wants to lay on their deathbed regretting that they didn't have a go for the things that they wanted to do? I know I would hate that. I would absolutely hate the fact that I hadn't gone for the things that I wanted to. And so this is really up to you. Reinvent yourself. Become somewhat of the person that you would like to be. Fake it till you make it. Do the things that this life has been put in your way for you to do. It may be that you have no grand ambition. It may be that you're really happy with your life. You'd just like to do a little bit more. You'd like to go out a little bit more. You'd like to try new things. You'd like to jump out of an aeroplane. I don't know. Whatever it is for you. If you want to be a different person than the one that you are now, and you want to do things that the person that you are now is afraid of trying, take a deep breath and say, I'm going to do it. There may be some things that have been lurking in your background, in the back of your mind for absolutely ages, that you'd really like to do, and you keep putting it off because you don't think that you're the kind of person that can do it. How do you know if you don't try? That's my point. How do you know if you don't try? And so, as I wrap this video up, obviously I'm not going to become a champion watermelon cutter. But I can talk to you on this video and hopefully just leave a lingering thought that if there's things that you want to be in this life, it doesn't matter how old you are, if there are things you want to try and you're 90, then go do it. That's what this life's for. Why should it be a grind? Why shouldn't you go out and do the things that you really, really want to do? Leave you with that thought. That's day 3 of the challenge over. Click over there. There'll be another video. I'll see you tomorrow.